We need to lovey-dovey
That's
together.
right.
Get close and comfy.
Whoops. All right. Are we both in?
Yeah.
Yay. Was there, like, when you were looking over his IEP with the academic stuff, was there any, like, specific goal or, like, academic concept that you wanted, like, some ideas for?
Well, I want to do more with that why that you explained it to
Okay.
me. I definitely want to go more deeper into that because of the thinking behind it. And
Right.
I never even thought of that side of it.
Right.
So that is in here, I believe.
Let's see, that one's the emotion. But, I mean, really, so what we're talking about is the why question where he needs to sort of make an inference, where it's not a fact that's, like, given to him, right? So, I mean, the first thing that comes into my mind is sort of creating for him, like, a short story based on, like, characters that he, like, really likes from the movies, or dinosaurs, and just do, like, a real simple paragraph that tells a, quick short story. It can even be one, like, straight from, like, a synopsis of something that happened in one of the movies he's familiar with. And then, like, maybe, I mean, you can just ask the question, So, because I know that he does, like, there are times when we've read stories, and, like, just reading a story is, like, motivating for him, especially when it's, like, something that he's into, So, I mean, we can just kind of do that and maybe have, like, a couple of why questions that involve him making an inference, afterwards.
And that's more thinking of what might happen, or how to, what?
I think it's more like, okay, so, like, just thinking about, like, his characters, so, like, maybe The Land Before Time, right? So, maybe there's a story where, Ducky went off to find, some yellow night flowers, and she brought them back, and she gave them to Littlefoot, who was, like, laying in his bed, and, like, had a cold rag on his head. So you're not coming right out and saying Littlefoot is sick, right? But you're sort of, like, everything about the story, you can make that inference, that guess, that, like, okay, well, why did Ducky bring flowers?
A picture for it.
Yes.
Okay.
And so he sort of is putting together that information and making that guess, like, why did Ducky bring Littlefoot flowers?
Okay.
Because Littlefoot was sick, and I think that if we're doing it based on the characters and the things that he loves and that he's familiar with already, I think that will come, easier for him,
And the emotional thing, too, I want to work on.
Okay.
Him feeling other people's emotions. Like,
right.
If I do that, it might hurt, or how much she feel if I did that to her.
Okay. Well, I think, like, that, it kind of, I mean, it's related, but so the one thing is more like the cause and effect that, like we had talked about before, and sort of the thinking ahead, like, okay, if I do this, this could happen, or, and he really did get into that game with that little Polaroid camera, and he did a great job. So, just like taking pictures of, like, the effects, so I took a picture of myself laying on the floor with all those marbles, like looking like I'd been knocked out, and then he came up with the cause, and we took a picture of him dumping the bag of marbles,
so you're doing
out
it
on the floor.
So he has to think of what happened first.
Yes.
Okay.
So, I mean, you could do that with, if you did pictures on, like, the digital camera, and printed them out. Or you could even do it with, again, with, like, the stories that he loves, like from Littlefoot, from some of the movies that he's into right now. Sort of taking a picture of something that happened in one of the movies, or, and then, like, okay, so what do you think happened before this? What happened to cause, whatever scene you sort of, And Google Images is great for like, you know what I mean? You can put in anything and get all sorts, you know.
Okay.
So, um, but yeah, so I would like kind of keep, doing things like that with the cause and effect. And then like the emotions, I think like part of it is for him to like first like making sure that he like identifies the emotions. You know what I mean? That he knows it,
Because I don't want him just to know by facial features, because he knows, oh, she's sad, she's happy, or he's angry, because he needs more of it than just the facial though.
Okay.
Because he can tell you that part.
Right.
But he can't tell you, she might be sad because she fell in the mud.
Okay.
You know what I mean? He can't tell you, I don't know how to say that. Like what happened before that, he can't tell you that part.
Okay. Well,
unless it's given.
Okay. Well, I mean, that sounds like the whole kind of making an inference, like what we were just talking about, like with the why. So I think that will help. But just sort of looking at like where we have put him on the model, like the ones that I was kind of thinking at was the stage 5, which like how awesome is it that like so many of his goals are stage 5 goals.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking this morning too, I mean, the conversation that we had was like so long. We went back and forth so many times. Yeah. And it was all related. It wasn't, like where he sort of, like jumps off and like, hey, let me show you, my shoes, or, you know what I mean? Like something pops into his head. It all kept going back to the conversation, like the topic that we were on.
Good.
Yeah. It was awesome. And I didn't have to sort of ask him a bunch of questions to clarify what he was talking about. Like he was giving me enough context so that I totally got it.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
I know.
You guys
were
loud
very cool.
in there today. I mean, like, really active. Not until the end did I was like, oh, it's quiet.
Right. Yeah, he was pretty exclusive towards the end, But yeah, he was
hunger pains.
Yes. It was lunchtime. But so I was thinking about like understands response to and using basic social cues. So, like that would be facial expression, tone of voice, body language. So I know that like facial expressions, like when we're like, what face would you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you can totally look at it and be like, well,
yeah.
that person looks, like sad, that person looks happy, that, So, I mean, I'm not sure. It sounds like you're talking about something a little bit different, though.
Like he can tell by your body or your face.
Right.
But I guess it's more of the thinking ahead thing.
Okay. And I think too, it sounds like maybe what you're thinking about is like the empathy, like sort of putting himself in someone else's shoes, or thinking like what someone else might be feeling, kind of thing. And I mean, I think that comes with just being more and more connected.
Okay.
I mean, that's another thing that he was doing this time, which was different. Like when we were playing the game, he was like, I think he accidentally knocked over my like, piece. It was supposed to be like we were Tom and Joe. We were going through the, like the haunted castle. Yeah. But so like he accidentally knocked him over, and he was like, oh, I'm sorry, and like, hey, are you okay? Are you all right, Joe? Like using the characters to like, so he was sort of connecting and with, like, oh, this guy got knocked down. I'm gonna check to see if he's okay.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. That's
okay.
what I want.
Nice.
That empathy.
Okay.
I want more of that.
Right. And so, but how often that, like, it's coming out, like, so much more now. And it did seem like maybe there was something about that we were using characters.
Okay.
So it wasn't strictly between the two of us. It was Tom and Joe, you know? And sometimes just sort of doing it in that third person kind of thing, it makes it easier, you know? So maybe that's a place to sort of start. So, like, if you're playing, you know, like I know, like with the dinosaurs, is that something that you guys still do? Yeah.
Still play cars and dinosaurs all the time.
Yes, so that's what we were doing at the end too. Trevor, the dragon, got very sick. It was serious.
I heard you from the grandpa. It was so good.
Yeah. But so maybe kind of bringing those sorts of situations into your play with the characters, where you give him a chance to, like, show empathy, you know, through the dinosaurs, you know.
Doesn't have to all be real life situations.
Right, you know, it can be like it's a practice. And if you think about the way that, like, I mean, all kids really, like, start doing it through play, you know. So it's like with, you know, like girls have the, you know, the Barbie doll, where they sort of practice those sorts of, you know what I mean, situations. And but yeah, so I would just sort of bring it up with the dinosaurs and with the cars. And it doesn't have to be, you know, like horrible things that, you know what I mean, like happen. It can just be like really silly things, like, you know, your dinosaur trips over, you know, a tree root, you know, like walking through the jungle, and, you know, like, ooh, 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 you know, like, you know, and just sort of giving him the opportunity, you know, to come back. So let's say you do that, you like sort of, and I would do it big, right? So this is when he's actually playing with you. So it's not the times when he sort of has the dinosaurs and he's more exclusive, right? But when he's actually interacting with you with the dinosaurs. So then you've got like the green light, you've got the opening. So then, you know, like do something, make it big, make it, you know, like really stand out, and kind of pause and wait to see, like, what he'll do, right? Now, if he just kind of blows right past it, then maybe you model with another dinosaur, you know, like, oh, I saw you trip, I'm here, don't worry, hold on, I'll help you over to the, you know, dinosaur doctor. So you can model it with another one, you know, but then, you know, a few minutes go by, you know, another dinosaur has a mishap, you know what I mean, and sort of give him another chance. And if he's really kind of watching, too, then, you know, like, kind of call him through it after you've, like, modeled it with another one. You could even be like, hey, you know, my guy needs some help, you know.
Encourage him.
Yeah, like really sort of encourage him and maybe even tell him what to do, you know. That I think that would be like a good place, you know, to start.
Mommy, can I have a snack?
You want a snack yet?
Yeah. What would you like?
Graham cracker with frosting.
We can't have those yet, buddy. A piece of gum?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice job, Riley. You know what? We'll be ready to go back in and play in a few minutes.
Yeah.
Did you want to pack up a snack for yourself for in the playroom?
Not yet.
I love that you answered. Thanks for looking, too. So was there anything else as far as like academic-wise that you know, wanted a little help with, or, you know, as far as like the developmental model? I know we're working, you know, like with communication and kind of, you know, like staying on topic. And I feel like that, you know, like you can really do a lot of that just around the house, like there's a
Yeah.
lot of opportunities, like with their sister and
We
just,
talk at
like,
dinner and try to talk about what we did at school that
Yeah.
day, and she shares, and then he shares what he did,
nice.
so and he'll ask her how her day was.
Oh, that's awesome.
So that's really good.
Yeah.
That he even cares
Right.
to ask her.
Yeah.
And he'll ask my husband, "How was your day at work?"
Nice.
So.
Now, does he kind of like stay with it and follow up with him?
Mhm.
Nice.
When we're all sitting here
Yeah.
focused on just that,
That's great.
and there's no distraction.
Right.
So.
And I feel like sometimes it's that he's excited to like add something to the conversation, but maybe he's just not sure what to add. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like so, when we were all sitting here, eating, like he got really excited to show me his shoes. You know what I mean? It was like he sat there for a while listening to, the conversation and wanted to, yeah. So maybe in like situations like that too, like really sort of, if you're in the middle of like a conversation, if there's one already going on, and he kind of pops in with something that's like kind of random or off topic, like really like, having like and celebrating that he's wanting to talk to you. Right? Like, I love that you want to show me this. She's so awesome. I'm not sure if you heard. We were just talking about, and whatever it was that you were talking about, that, that anything that you want to tell us about that, and then I'll totally go and look at your shoes. But sort of just helping him with seeing that this is what the conversation was about. You know what I mean? But at the same time, like, it's great that he wants to be a part of it, And I think sometimes
he's also joined in with, like, my daughter would say, well, we did this or that at recess. I fell and got hurt. And, well, for recess, you know what we did today? We went for a bike ride,
Yeah.
So he'll join in that one.
Right. I have noticed that. That's really cool that he, like, he'll hear something and he'll relate it back. To something that he's done or something that, like he's remembering that's similar.
Right.
So, I know that is really cool.
For keeping him in the topic, too.
Right.
I want to, like you said, keep him back to what we were talking about when we get to your thing in a second.
Yeah.
Also helps with his waiting, too,
Right.
His reward for his conversations coming.
Right.
So being able to be patient and not, I need to talk it right now, he can just wait a second and let us finish.
Right.
And he's getting better at not interrupting us, too. Like, if my husband and I are talking, we'll just like, 1 second, we're almost done, and he'll let us finish, and, okay, what did you want to tell us? And, well, he'll tell us what he wanted to tell us, so.
That's fabulous. I know.
A lot.
Like, I really, like I said, like this morning, like I was just noticing a lot of things that seem different.
I hope now that we're settled that he starts to
well,
come back around again in some areas.
I see that he is, that he's, I mean, he was definitely, like, he was interactive this morning. He was, like, just open to kind of playing that new game, which, I mean, usually he had been, right? Like, I would bring something, and he would be excited to see what I had brought, and we would play whatever I brought right away. And then, for the past, like, few times, he'll look at it, he'll check it out, but what I've brought stays, kind of over in the corner, which is fine, But, today he was, like, open to kind of checking it out and actually playing it, and we played with it pretty much, the entire time.
I heard you.
So, So is it starting to feel more like home to everybody, do you think?
They still talk about it.
Yeah.
It's the apartment. It's not home.
Yeah. What about for you? Like, do you feel like it's home yet, or?
Tight, cramped, and not what we're used to.
Right.
I try not to let them see that.
Yeah. Well, it looks very homey and nice, and like you got all your pictures up, and
I'm getting more organized every week.
I mean, we moved. I think it's coming on 9 years this summer, and I don't think I have as many pictures up as you do, which is
stuff
great.
over there on the table now. You can see some table over there.
I'm quite impressed with your organization and your decorating.
I keep trying. I don't know. They just act like it's not.
It takes a while to get used to being in a new place.
My daughter was really having an upset day the other day.
Yeah.
I want to go home, is what she said.
Yeah.
And so then he gets in on it too, Which really, I don't think it bothers him as much.
He seems quite thrilled with living next to the pond.
Now that he can get out more since that winter.
Well, and the pool's going to open in another, like short while.
And with the other kids, with him being with the other kids, he has more interaction outside.
Right.
It's not just go play with sticks in the sandbox and stuff like that, like we did in the country. Here he's got other kids to be excited about. They're coming home from school.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Right.
What time is it? He'll be like, what time is it? It's 3 o'clock. We need to go get her off the bus. The other kids are coming home.
That's great.
He knows what time it is and that they're coming home, and so he's ready to play.
That's awesome. Yeah.
It's good because then he's not in front of the TV or causing trouble.
And he's got a chance to really sort of practice everything that like you're working, you know what I mean, with him on during the day while they're gone.
And it's not just his sister either. He's actually got another boy and then other girls.
That's really great because I know like where you lived before, like that was a challenge, was trying to get him around other kids, so that's awesome. Nice. I'm sure, it's going to take a little bit, It does for any place to sort of feel like home, It does take a while. I remember when we first moved, it feels like you're like on vacation a little bit at first, and then when you get up in the middle of the night, you have to like sort of stop and think like, okay, which way do I go to,
Where am I at?
Right. But
yeah,
he seems to me like he's, like settled in. He's like pretty happy with his new room.
We've looked for houses and stuff, but I told my husband I don't know if it's a good thing to move right away, because he's too much moving. I think could not be good for him.
I mean, I think like with anything, like the more comfortable that you guys are, as a parent, with whatever you decide to do, like he'll be as comfortable as you are,
Yeah. I try not to show that, but there's this to do and there's this that's fun,
Right.
Show the positive side of it when he says him or say anything negative or sad. Like with this and this and this, so that don't worry about that. There's more fun things to do, so.
Yeah, I mean, I think, it's, like, it's okay to be, like, sad about something. It's not like being sad is a bad thing, It is okay to, like I remember when my grandmother passed away and my kids were younger, just really sort of, like, wanting to help them with that, like, yes, this thing happened that none of us really wanted to happen, and we miss, our grandmother, but at the same time, like, because you could just dwell on sort of the sadness and but at the same time, like, there's lots of, like, wonderful things to remember. There's, and while if you're feeling sad, it's great to, like, let someone know and, like, tell me how you're feeling, But at the same time, like, we can think about, like you said, like, just sort of, the positive things, too. That we don't have to it doesn't have to be all one or the other,
With it being summer, he wants to go out and have a fire,
Oh, yeah, he does used to do that.
We can't do that
right.
here, But, like, he'll still save boxes whenever he empties a box of something,
For starter. For kindling. Nice.
So, like, all his Lego boxes that we were throwing away,
Right.
he's still like, I got the box, we better save it.
Right.
The box yours so we can go burn it.
Right.
It's like, well, when you're not looking, it's going to disappear. But I needed that. Well, we can't have a fire here,
Yeah. But, I mean, there's probably places that you guys do
we
go
told him
where,
we're going to go.
right?
We're going to go on vacation in a couple of weeks, and we're going to have a cabin, and we're going to camp out there.
Nice.
So we'll have fires then.
Right.
So.
Nice.
We'll get his fires in. A
That's
couple
right.
of them at
That's
least.
Right. Nice.
So he'll be happy about that. We can save all the boxes you want then.
That's right.
Take them
You
with
can
us.
always do a pretend one and,
Yeah, make a fake fire.
Right.
He'd still think it was fun. Make some logs out of
right.
newspaper,
Why not?
Roast some marshmallows. Well, then he'd have to eat them. We'd have to have real marshmallows, even on fake fire.
Does he like them roasted?
No, even when we did that, he would be like, they would burn them, and here, Mommy, you eat them. They're all burnt. Not even toasted at all. They just eat them right off the stick.
Told me.
Right off the stick, not even cooked.
So I was making, we were making pretend roasted marshmallows for some of the characters in our game, and he's like, they just like them white.
Like, all right. Yeah, that's how he is. I even toasted like a perfect one. No.
I like them burnt myself.
I do too. So then it's fun for them. They're like, here, I just burn it. Look, I got a flame. You want to eat it?
I remember when Jake was on, like the gluten-free, sugar-free, and we went to one of our friends had a bonfire, and I mean, he couldn't eat the marshmallows, and he was just like, he was roasting, like, I don't know, I can't remember, he had like a piece of cantaloupe or something stuck on the end of it. He's like happy as can be, because he didn't care. For him, it was all about just burning something in in the fire, or he would roast one and for someone else to eat, But I remember, like, my friends were just like, giving him cantaloupe. I'm like, Jake's off,
He's happy
as can be.
Whatever, he's
that's
happy.
your problem. We're fine with it. Well, next time, too, like, we can do, like, more, like, kind of brainstorming, some things. And then, like the week before, if there's something in particular that you're working on that you want me to sort of, like, reinforce when I come, like, just let me know, and then I'll make a game, based on that same idea, too.
Okay.
Okay. And thanks for letting me tape us.
No problem. I'm ready to get off to